Welcome to another deep dive. Today we're going back to the 1970s,
Oh, okay.
to Italy,
Okay.
during a really intense period known as the Years of Lead.
Intense is right.
Yeah. And it was a time when extremist groups, both left and right,
Yeah.
they were resorting to violence
Right.
to push their agendas.
Absolutely.
And right in the middle of all this,
Yep.
there was this guy named Emilio Alessandrini. And he was a magistrate who dedicated his life to basically fighting terrorism
Really fascinating.
and upholding justice.
That's a wild story.
Yeah, no matter the risk.
Yeah.
And we've got court records, historical analyses, even some firsthand accounts
That's great.
from this time.
Should be a great deep dive.
And I'm ready to get into it.
Yeah, me too.
So,
What's really striking about Alessandrini's story
yeah.
is that it's not just about one man,
Right.
his life and work. They really reflect like a pivotal chapter in
Yeah.
Italy's history. Like
Right.
it was a time when the lines between political ideology
Right.
and violent extremism, they just became tragically blurred.
Yeah, so let's just start with the guy himself.
Okay.
Like, who was he?
Yeah.
Our sources tell us that Alessandrini started his career
Okay.
as a substitute prosecutor
Okay.
in Milan
All right.
in 1968.
Got it.
But then, not too long after,
Yeah.
Italy was rocked by like this horrific event,
Oh, yeah.
the Piazza Fontana bombing
Of course.
in 1969.
Yeah. This bombing. It was really brutal.
Yeah.
And it was an act of right-wing terrorism that
Oh.
killed 17 people
Wow.
and injured many more.
Yeah.
I mean, it sent shockwaves through
Yeah.
all of Italy.
Yeah.
And it marked a turning point. Like,
Yeah.
it really ushered in
Yeah.
this period of intense political violence.
Right.
It's the years of lead.
I actually read that Alessandrini got assigned to the Piazza Fontana case
Oh, wow.
in 1972.
Really?
Yeah.
That must be an incredibly complex case.
Yeah, incredibly complex and sensitive,
Absolutely.
especially
Yeah.
with all the political ramifications.
Imagine the weight on his shoulders trying to navigate a case of this magnitude.
Yeah, to give you a sense of how tense things were,
Okay.
the trial was moved
Oh, wow.
first to Milan
Okay.
and then to Catanzaro
Wow.
because of security concerns.
They had to move the whole trial?
Yeah,
That's wild.
it really shows you
Yeah.
how dangerous
Mm,
and politically charged
right.
the atmosphere was back
Yeah,
then.
yeah.
And it wasn't just right-wing terrorism
Right.
that Alessandrini was tackling. Right.
That's a good point.
He was also,
Yeah, he was really involved in investigations
Right.
against left-wing groups as well.
yeah,
This is crucial to understanding Alessandrini.
yeah.
He wasn't driven by ideology
Okay.
at all.
Interesting.
He was driven by a deep commitment to
Mhm.
justice.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't matter where the threat came from.
Yeah.
He was determined to uphold the law.
So it sounds like.
Yeah, and get this.
Yeah.
His investigations led him to uncover some shady dealings
Oh, well.
within the Italian Secret Service,
What, really?
suggesting that they might have been involved
Wow.
in covering up certain aspects of the Piazza Fontana bombing.
So he was investigating
Yeah,
the very people who were supposed to be protecting him.
pretty much.
That's incredibly brave
It was.
and a little bit terrifying.
It gets even more chilling.
Okay.
A detailed file on Alessandrini,
Yeah.
they call it a SCADA,
Okay.
was found in a terrorist's apartment.
Wow.
These files
Yeah.
were basically blueprints for assassinations,
Oh, wow.
containing everything someone would need
Okay.
to target and eliminate a person.
Now I'm really starting to understand
Yeah.
the level of danger
It was serious?
he was in.
Yeah,
To know that you're being targeted like that,
right.
it must have been,
It was unsettling.
yeah, incredibly unsettling.
The level of detail in the SCADA was so precise
Yeah.
that Alessandrini himself
Mm.
suspected it might have been leaked. Oh, wow.
By elements within the intelligence community.
So the very people
Yeah.
who should have been protecting him
Exactly.
might have been complicit
Hmm.
in putting a target on his back.
Yeah.
That's a whole other level of betrayal.
It is.
Makes you wonder how he was able to
Good- yeah.
keep going,
Yeah.
knowing that the threat could come from anywhere,
Right.
even from within the system he was trying to uphold.
Yeah. It's incredible.
Yeah.
You know what's really fascinating here?
What's that?
Despite all this danger,
Yeah.
Alessandrini never wavered
Really?
in his pursuit of justice.
Wow.
It speaks volumes about his character
Yeah.
and his commitment to doing what he believed was right.
Right.
I mean, really unwavering commitment
Yeah.
to doing the right thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's hard to believe that someone could face that much danger and still just
Keep going.
Yeah, keep going, but
Tragically,
yeah.
as we know, his
Right.
commitment to justice,
Yeah.
it came at a very high price. Yeah, our sources describe the morning of
Mm-hmm.
January 29th, 1979,
Right.
when Alessandrini dropped his son off at school
Mm-hmm.
and he was driving to work,
Yeah. Just like he did every day.
just like every day.
It's heartbreaking to think that
Yeah.
something so ordinary
Yeah,
would become the setting for such a horrific act.
it really is. And,
As Alessandrini stopped at a traffic light,
right.
2 assailants approached his car.
Okay.
They smashed his window,
Oh, my gosh.
fired 8 shots,
Wow.
and then disappeared,
Oh, wow.
using a smoke bomb as cover.
It sounds like a movie,
It really does.
like a planned hit.
A well-coordinated assassination
Yeah.
carried out by people who knew exactly what they were doing.
And the group that claimed responsibility for this was
Yeah, Prima Linea,
Prima Linea.
a communist terrorist organization.
Right. And reading their statement,
Yeah,
it's chilling how they tried to justify the murder
it really is.
by claiming that Alessandrini was making the Italian justice system too effective against them.
They basically argued that Alessandrini was too good
Too good.
at his job,
Yeah.
as if that
Well,
justified taking his life.
it's a really twisted logic.
It is.
So after the assassination, what happened? Like, how did
Yeah.
the authorities respond to such
Yeah.
a brazen attack?
There was this immediate crackdown
Okay.
with a massive investigation
Yeah.
launched to track down the perpetrators.
Okay. Yeah.
It actually took over a year
Well-
before they had a major breakthrough.
Really?
Yeah, in 1980,
So,
Roberto Sandalo,
okay.
a member of Prima Linea,
Mhm.
he confessed to his involvement
Okay.
and provided information that led to the arrest of
Mhm.
several key figures.
Okay. And among those arrested were
Yeah, Sergio.
Sergio Secchio
And Marco Donat-Catton.
right, Marco Donat-Catton. The two men identified as the gunmen.
Yes.
Okay.
Donat-Catton's case is
Yeah.
really interesting, and I think it speaks to the complex
Yeah.
social and political dynamics
Mm.
of Italy at the time. He
Sure.
was actually the son of a prominent
Oh, wow.
Christian Democrat politician,
Really?
but he became deeply involved
Okay.
in leftist terrorism.
Oh, from a powerful family.
Very powerful.
Wow, that's fascinating.
It is.
To think that someone from such a powerful family
Yeah.
would choose a path that was so opposed
I know.
to their background.
It highlights the deep divisions
Wow.
and disillusionment
Yeah.
that fueled the years of lead.
So what happened to Sergio and Donat-Catton
Well,
after they were arrested?
okay.
Were they held accountable for Alessandrini's murder?
They were. During the trial,
Okay.
Sergio, who refused to cooperate with the authorities,
Right.
was sentenced to life in prison.
Wow.
Donat-Catton, on the other hand,
Yeah.
received a reduced sentence
Right.
because of his cooperation
Right.
and his dissociation from Prima Linea.
You mentioned dissociation.
Yeah.
Can you explain what that means
Sure.
in this context?
Dissociation was this legal mechanism
Okay.
introduced in Italy
Okay.
during this period.
Right.
It allowed terrorists
Yeah.
to receive lighter sentences.
Wow.
If they renounced violence,
Right.
cooperated with authorities, and
Mhm.
provided information about their organization.
That sounds like a pretty controversial.
It was very controversial.
Yeah?
Some people argued
Bummer.
that it was necessary
Yeah.
to dismantle these groups
Yeah.
to bring an end to the violence,
Right.
but others felt that it undermined justice.
Yeah, I can see both sides
Yeah.
of that argument.
Yeah.
But regardless of the controversy,
Right.
the arrests of Sergio and Donat-Catton,
Yeah.
they had a significant impact on Prima Linea,
They did.
right?
The loss of these key figures
Mhm.
really crippled
Yeah.
Prima Linea's ability to operate.
So Alessandrini's death,
Yeah,
it became a turning point
it did in a way.
in Italy's fight against terrorism.
It's a strange thought,
It is a strange thought.
but his murder, as awful as it was,
Yeah.
ultimately contributed to weakening a dangerous and violent group.
Yeah, it's a bittersweet victory, for sure.
It is.
That his death,
Right.
as horrible as it was,
Yeah,
it helped bring down
it did.
a terrorist organization.
Yeah,
It makes you think about
it does.
the ripple effects
Right.
of actions,
Yeah.
especially in those times.
It speaks to the power of courage and conviction.
Right.
Alessandrini knew the risks,
Yeah.
but he continued to do
Yeah.
what he believed was right,
Right.
and he made a profound impact.
It wasn't just about
No.
bringing criminals to justice, though. Like,
No?
I've read that he was really passionate
You what?
about social justice.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
he wasn't just trying to
Right.
punish wrongdoers.
Mm-hmm.
He was trying to create
He was.
a more just and equitable...
Yeah, absolutely. His work on prison reform was amazing.
Oh, really?
He advocated for better conditions and rehabilitation programs.
So he was trying to fix
He was.
the root cause of it all.
Yeah.
So if Alessandrini were still alive today,
Yeah.
what do you think he would say
That's a good question.
about the state of the world?
You know, we're still grappling with the issues of extremism, injustice,
Right.
and inequality.
Yeah, does his story have any relevance
I think so.
for us today?
I think Alessandrini's story challenges us
Yeah.
to consider our own roles
In what way?
in upholding justice and protecting democratic values.
Okay.
It reminds us that even in the darkest of times,
Right.
there are people who are willing to risk everything
Wow.
to fight for what's right.
So it's almost like he's passing the torch
Exactly.
to all of us.
Alessandrini's legacy lives on,
Yeah.
not just in the legal precedents he helped set,
Right.
but in the hearts and minds of those who continue to fight for a more just world.
Yeah. His story is a powerful reminder of that.
It is.
So as we wrap up this deep dive into the life and legacy
Mhm.
of Emilio Alessandrini,
It's been great.
what's the one thing you hope our listener...
You know, I think the most important takeaway
Yeah.
is that the pursuit of justice requires courage,
Right.
integrity,
Mm-hmm.
and an unwavering commitment to truth.
Alessandrini.
He really embodied these qualities.
He did.
And his story serves as a beacon of hope and inspiration.
It's a story that reminds us
It does.
that even in the face of immense adversity,
Yeah,
one person can make a difference.
absolutely.
Thank you for joining us today
It was my pleasure.
on this journey back in time
Of course.
to explore a pivotal chapter in Italian history.
Yeah.
We encourage you to continue learning about Emilio Alessandrini
He was an amazing man.
and the complexities of the years of lead.
It's a wild story.
It's a story that continues to resonate today,
Yeah.
reminding us of the importance of standing up for what we believe in,
Right.
even when it's difficult,
Mm-hmm.
even when it's dangerous.
Yeah, I agree.